Hi everyone, I am Ankur and I recently came to Canada on permanent residency, um, and I wanted to talk about my experience with Mr. Nivish Gupta um, and who processed my entire application. Um, I am Ankur and I work in the IT industry, uh, worked in India and US for a long time. I moved from US to Canada, so I applied for permanent residency from US. I came to know about Nimish from one of my friend who has also got the permanent residency, and he had a very good feedback about it. When we started to thought about permanent residency for Canada, we had a lot of questions in our mind how to go about it. We are a family of four, including two kids. So there were a lot of questions related to spouse, occupation, kids. Um, so we contacted Nimish, and Nimish has explained us the entire process. Um, and then we went ahead with the process with Nimish because we already had good feedback about him. Um, and then Nimish has taken over our entire application. Um, we applied through OINP, which is Ontario PNP, and once we got the nomination, we applied through Express Entry, Federal Express Entry. Our entire PR processing took about 6 months, and including Ontario PNP plus Express Entry. And in the entire process, there were no queries asked from IRCC. Our application went pretty fine, pretty smooth, no additional document needed, or no queries raised by IRCC. Um, the entire documentation uh, collected by Nimish and the team was of great help because the collecting all the documents and putting them in a particular sequence is very important when you apply for permanent residency. Uh, I have seen many cases their profile took more than a year, whereas many files have been the same profile have been processed in like 3 months, 4 months. It all depends on what documents you are providing in your application and how those documents have been put together in a particular sequence so that IRCC guys are convinced that your application has all the relevant documents. So Nimish and the team is really experienced in that. Nimish himself personally has reviewed all the documents. We were supposed to submit our documents. I remember this instance because this is very interesting. Um, we were about to submit our application, and Nimish reviewed it one final time, and he found that we need to should add one more document so that our application becomes really strong. And at that moment, it clicked like, okay, the Nimish is attentively going through each and every document. He's going into detail, and so that gives me a little more confidence about his team, right? What they are doing and how they are doing the things. Eventually, I'm here in Canada now, and I really uh, uh, thank Nimish and the team for that. Uh, One thing I admire about Nimish and the team is I didn't need to follow up for each and every stage. They were very proactive in communicating our status of the application at all stages. Um, that is one of the topic of interest for each of the applicants, how our application is processing, what is the status. So on each stage, they regularly update us. They are very uh, approachable, and you can contact them anytime, um, and they will revert as quickly as possible. Um, so Nimish, when we got our application approved and permanent residency approved, Nimish communicated that to us. We were really excited. We were thinking we won't uh, be getting the PR before October uh, in 2019, but we actually got it in July, and in August we moved to Canada. Overall, our experience with Nimish and the team was wonderful. I highly recommend Nimish and the team. Specifically, he is really experienced persons working in IT industry, whether they are working in India or whether they are working in US or in any other geography. He is really experienced with the application which involves families. So he know what documentation to put, how to put, what to put. I highly recommend Nimish and the team for IT industry persons. Thank you so much for listening to me.